Jonathan, why are letting agents adverse to change? Talk to me.
I think letting agents are averse to change because the industry has been the way it is for such a long time. The lettings, the rental sector in the UK has grown tremendously over the last 10, 20 years, and it is forecast to continue growing. 25%-ish of the population rent right now. That's going to keep growing until we're 70%. How long that takes, I'm not entirely sure, but that's what's happening. And agents need to change and recognise the opportunity with that. And agents need to, as we've said before, think about who it is they're actually dealing with on a more day-to-day basis.
It's more the tenants, isn't it?
Exactly. So, agents have found it so easy in the past to find tenants and kind of make it very transactional, and now that is changing because tenants are demanding more. However, the industry is so ingrained into landlord that they've become actually quite adverse to change as well. It's so deeply ingrained.
What I tend to find with most letting agents is that because they're detail orientated, precise people, which you need those types of skills to be a good letting agent, their biggest fear is criticism because they're perfectionists. They're buggers for not delegating. No one can do the job better than they can. And do you think that's because that follows on that because they fear change because they might be criticised?
I honestly don't know the answer to that one because I think that's a general human trait. It may not necessarily be specific to lettings.
I would say it is actually the type because I'm into profiling people, and because most letting agents tend to be more process driven as opposed to people driven, and tend to be more reserved as opposed to outgoing. That is the trait of that type of personality, that they are reserved, they are detail orientated, and they fear being criticised. And if whenever you humans don't like change, but if you particularly don't like change because you'll be criticised, you are not going to change.
But where we are today, there's the saying: if it's not broke, don't fix it.
True.
It is broke. So,
but why should we care about tenants?
Because that is why the things like the tenant fee ban are coming in.
True. Do you think if we cared more, we wouldn't have had the ban?
Yes, of course. I'm not saying I necessarily agree with the tenant fee ban, and that's coming from the perspective as a landlord and as a tenant. But I think without doubt, if agents had traditionally cared more about tenants, of course they would, because tenants would be happy with the service that they've been given. But tenants are not happy with the service they've been given and never have been.
So what can we do as an industry to make our tenants happier?
It simply comes down to empathy, understanding their customers' wants and needs, delivering on the promise.
Okay.
Very much so.
How do we find out what their needs are?
There's lots of technology out there that helps agents change for the better. As we mentioned, our platform has a lot of data element to it, which really helps our clients.
Because I was surprised. I just thought you were a perks platform, but you're not. You actually, most of your info and data comes from actually asking the tenants how happy they are and what they're thinking at the moment. So the agents can then use that information. So because the email comes from the agent, not you, it appears that you're caring more.
The platform is one thing, and with any platform there has to be a carrot that gets people to that platform. What then the platform can do once people are there, the opportunities are in some respects endless. Where we're adding value on top of the perks piece is the data piece.
The perks is so you're basically telling me the perks, money off utility bills or 10% off a cheeky Nando's, is the bit that gets them to the platform, but in reality it's the emails and the surveys coming out from the agent that shows that the tenant feels more loved and wanted, which means they're going to have greater empathy. They feel they're being listened to. Which sounds great, mate, doesn't it?
Yeah, and also
it shows that the agent's caring.
Exactly. You know, it's a win-win all round. The survey piece is incentivised as well. So, you know, don't get me wrong, the perks bit's very important, but we do incentivise the surveys piece as well. But that's all done as if it's the agent, and the kudos goes to the agent. You know, last month we paid somebody's rent because they entered our prize draw. You know, the kudos was the agents. It's not ours.
Good. There you go. Just got to share that we've got to listen more, care more, and if we can use technology such as your own, but there's no others that you're in competition with. I'm not even being paid to say this. I should be.
Well, you know, at the moment, you know, that appears to be the case. You know, we're not trying to tread on the toes of any of the other companies or services that are trying to improve the beginning step in the process. You know,
Yeah,
from finding a property to moving in.
And you're not here just to send them 10% off their Virgin Mobile phone bill.
Not at all. No, you know, if anything, you know, the hole that we are filling for our clients is that post-moving customer engagement journey. And actually, a lot
You're
of our
a customer
clients,
services department for letting agents.
yeah, in many respects.
Yeah.
But with upside that, you know, could add to the ROI going forward.
The agent earns, the tenant's happy, everyone's happy. Thank you.